Okay, stage 3, working with web fonts. We are starting on page 371. Prior to CSS3, websites were limited to fonts that were installed on the user's computer, which I've always talked to you guys about. When we design pages, we use font families to define a sequence of possible fonts to be used, usually ending with a generic type of font like serif or sans serif fonts. Even those options weren't guaranteed because an individual user can customize their browser to display all types, let's say for Comic Sans, regardless of the type of font that was designed to be used for the website. The addition of web fonts in CSS3 means you can embed specific fonts into a web page. This means the user opens your page, the exact fonts you define will be there to use in the browser. You, however, have to include all the formats that will be required by the different browsers. The current versions of all browsers supports the web open font format, true type fonts, open type fonts. Internet Explorer 9 Plus requires certain modifications for true type fonts and open type fonts to work properly, so be aware of that. Yeah, I'm kind of mixed on this because for several reasons. One, the way they use them here, okay, we are definitely using more than the 3 types of fonts or less, but take it for what it will. The person you're working for has to have a certain kind of font for their website, at least this would be one possible way that you might be able to do it. So with that in mind, we're going to continue forward here. So how we do this is we're going to go up to Tools, and we are going to go down and click Manage Fonts, which is going to open up the Manage Font dialog box. I don't know if you can see it on my screen or not. Probably not, since it is a dialog box, but at the top of the Manage Fonts box, you're going to see Adobe Edge Web Fonts, Local Web Fonts, and Custom Font Stacks. You want to be selected on the Adobe Edge Web Fonts, and that nothing on the far left-hand side, none of the buttons are toggled on. They'll be dark if they are. The next step is on the right-hand side, you'll find a scroll bar, and you're going to scroll down until you find the Bauman's font. So I'm scrolling down through the A's until I find Bauman's, and then I'm going to select it. And I can tell it's selected. It'll have a gray, kind of a gray around it. Then once I've selected it, I'm going to click on the left-hand side, the second button from the top. Okay, and once I've selected the second button from the top, I am going to select PT Sans, and then I'm going to click the custom font stacks option at the top of the dialog box. So let's see. That would be the third of the 3 at the very top. So I'll click the custom font stacks up there. And in the Manage Fonts dialog box, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select Bauman's from the list. And there's double arrows that point to the left and to the right. And I'm going to click the button to the left. And then I'm also going to choose sans serif and click the button to the left. And then I'm going to click the plus button. And as soon as I click the plus button, it has been added to the list that you'll see where your font list. Then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing with PT Sans and sans serif. So I'm going to click PT Sans, hit the double arrow button and move it over. And then I'm going to click the serif, click the button over. Once I'm there on the left-hand side, I'm going to hit the arrow key once again and add it to my font list. Once I have done both of those, I'm going to click Done. And what I have now done is just added them to Dreamweaver and into the font list. Okay, with the index HTML open, I'm going to make sure that Live View is active. And then I'm going to click the Content Style CSS. And I'm going to click in Body on CSS Designer. So here's the body right here. And I'm going to turn off Show Sets if it's on. So if it's on, turn it off. I'm going to go into Text. And in the Text Properties box, I'm going to choose the font family right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose PT Sans and Sans Serif. So I will choose PT Sans and Sans Serif for my body font. And I did not get a warning message, but if you get a warning message, click the close button. And you will see that indeed it did add PT Sans and Sans Serif to the body tag. Now the next one I'm going to do is the H1 tag. So I'm going to click the H1 tag in the selectors area. I'm going to click on text. I'm going to click in font family. And this time I am going to choose the Bauman's and Sans Serif. And as soon as I do that, indeed what it does is it puts it into the H1. You can see it in the H1 here. And once I have done both of those, I'm going to do a Control S and save my work. Okay, the next step of what we are going to do is add an HTML video. And so that starts on page 377. And let's talk about it for a second. This is stage 4. One of the advantages of HTML5 is the ability to present multimedia files without the need of a plugin. Using the video tag, you can define the source for a video that will play directly in the page. There are currently 3 supported video formats for this: MP4, WebM, and OGG. And I'm going to recommend that you stay with MP4 because it is the only recognized video type that will play virtually in all the different browsers. So important that you maintain some stability there. Okay, let's work on placing a video into the HTML5 page. That is our next step here. So with the index HTML open, make sure that live view is selected. We are in live view, so we'll go back to that. And in the files panel, we're going to expand the video folder. So we will go into the files panel and expand the video folder, and you will see in there we have an M4V, an OGG, and a WebM file in there. Okay, in the live view, we are supposed to delete the text. So right here, we're going to just backspace. Nope, it's not going to let us that way. So we are going to go back into split view and into source panel. And we're going to delete it by hitting backwards right there where we're still in the middle of it like so. Okay, in the HTML5 panel, so let's click at the very top into the HTML5 panel. And what we're going to do next, okay, there you go. Okay. Oh, monkeys in here making rah rah sounds, which is affecting my videos. Can you call him? No, he's not coming. I can't. He's hiding. Call. Keep calling. Okay, there he goes. Thank you. or it's already open down here in the bottom if you notice. Okay, and with the video element selected in live view, so let's make sure we're selected on the, okay, we are selected kind of on it. So in live view, what we're going to do is point to the file button on the source field. Okay, so down here on the source field, we're going to open up the browse. We're going to go into video, and we're going to grab the river surfing M4V right here and click OK. And you'll see that indeed it did put it in there. Okay, and the HTML source tag is used to specify multimedia sources for the video. The source attribute, okay, talks about the actual video itself, and the type attribute, okay, defines the MIME type for the selected file. This information allows the individual browser to identify a file that can be used. In the fallback text field right down here, I want you to, if possible, click into it and type in, your browser does not support the HTML5 video tag. Please update to a current browser. And you always want to put these in because you have no idea what actual browser or if they're updated that your user is actually using. So type that in. Very important to make sure that you add this. Oops. And then hit enter to finalize the text. And in the properties panel, check autoplay, which is down here on the left hand side, and the loop boxes. Now autoplay, what it does is it causes the video to start playing as soon as it is loaded. Loop causes the video to continually play over and over after each time it finishes. I do not like the loop option. I do not recommend using it. I also do not normally recommend doing autoplay, but that's what they're telling us to do for the moment. Okay, and then in the preload menu, choose auto in the preload menu. Maybe that is it. No, it is not. Where is the preload menu? Hang on a second. Okay, according to this, okay, preload is right here, so you do auto in the preload. It's right next to autoplay. Preload attribute determines whether the video file is downloaded using the auto value. The video downloads as soon as the excuse me, as soon as the page opens. Okay, you can use the none value to prevent the video from loading until the user plays it, or the metadata value to preload it only when the video's embedded metadata. So those, and you will see at the bottom of the page of 381 a whole bunch of different options that you should be familiar with when adding videos to your web page. Very important, so please read that. Make sure that the content CSS files code is visible, and add a new tag selector to the existing file immediately above the comment identifying the navigation bar styles. So let's go over to the content CSS, and we need to look for navigation bar system. Okay, it's a comment. So let's look, comment. Right here, these styles control the top navigation bar. So you want to be immediately above that comment. So we're going to start right here. We're going to hit enter. We're going to put a new video tag in with an opening bracket. Hit enter. Okay, and we're going to add a width. And that width is going to be 100%. And why do you think we're putting in percent? Because it will match the window. And then we're going to add height. It's not doing what I want it to do. And with height, we are going to put auto with a semicolon. Oh, we forgot to put a semicolon after our width. There we go. And it says move your mouse over the video elements in live view to access the video controls. So let's go back to live view, and you will see that when I hover over it, yes indeed there are video controls down here at the bottom. Let's do a Control S to save our work. Let's go up and do a file save all to save our work, because we have two different things that are currently being needed to be saved. Anyway, that finishes this portion of the lesson, and we'll move on to the next here shortly.